Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Welcome if you are new. My name is Heather. I'm a homeschooling mom of 3 kids, elementary and high school age. I help you implement systems and strategies in order to overcome the chaos and cultivate simplicity in your home and homeschool. Today I'm going to be going through the home planner from Passionate Penny Pincher. What I'm going to do is share how you can use this planner in your own life, as well as the printable options. So what I'm going to do is turn the camera around and we're going to walk through all of the different ways that you can use this planner for your own home management. So let's get into it. Okay guys, so first I do want to make sure that you are aware that I have linked the full review and walkthrough of this physical 2025 home planner in the description box. If you've never seen the home planner from Passionate Penny Pincher, that would probably be the best place to start, because I walk through everything and kind of how I use it, the different things that I've done to kind of make things work for me. But when you purchase the physical planner, you also get the digital file. The digital file has an editable PDF that you can fill in with your own tasks and print it out. It also has all of the lists that they have in the planner. It is the entire 2025 planner. All of the pages that are in this comes in that digital file, and you also get the last quarter of 2024. I think right now, if you purchase it before the end of 2024, you will get that last quarter of 2024 as well. But you can also just purchase the PDF/digital version. If you have something like GoodNotes on your iPad, this will work in that. I am not really a digital planner person. I do not have an iPad that I could use this with, but I love having access to the files to print specific lists when I need them. I do have some lists that I have printed and put in my home management binder. My home management binder is not something that I use a lot, but it is kind of a reference for me. I keep a lot of lists in there and inventories and ideas and things like that. It's not something that I'm always in, but if I am looking for something specific, it's most likely in that binder. So it's very helpful to have. And obviously you can resize these to make it smaller. You can punch and bind it. I think you can even have it printed like at Staples or something like that if you want them to do it for you. So you can either buy the physical planner and get the digital planner printables emailed to you as included in this price, or you can just get the digital printables. I think it's $20. They may be on sale currently. Sometimes she does have sales on the digital resources that she sells, but I absolutely love having the physical planner. I like the option of printing out things, but if I just need to look at something, it's so much easier for me to just grab this off my shelf and flip to the page that I need, rather than going into my computer and trying to find the file and then scrolling and then printing. That's just me. It is partly because I have been working on a digital detox this year and utilizing offline resources for a lot of things. So first you need to figure out if you want the physical planner and the digital option, or if you just want the digital option. If you just want the digital option, it's very inexpensive. I feel like you always have access to these lists. Obviously, the planner pages themselves would not work after 2025, but the lists are what made me purchase this planner in the first place, and I think they are incredibly valuable. So I do not use this planner for planning. I did try to use it for planning, but there were some things that just didn't work for me. However, all of the information in here is very, very helpful. And when there are weeks when I am just focusing on home management stuff, sometimes I will come in and use this planner specifically because all of the lists are here and I just have to add in my extra tasks. So one of the best things about this planner, and the first way that I would say to use it, is to look at the weekly cleaning projects. The weekly cleaning projects are what drew me to this planner in the first place. And then once I saw all of the lists and all of the different just all of the ideas in this planner, it made it so much easier for me to figure out my own home management system. If you've been watching my videos for any length of time, you know that in 2020 we moved right before COVID, and moving into this new house during 2020 was crazy. I did not feel like I was able to make any headway into any sort of home management routine because everything was just so crazy, and it really continued into 2021, at least in my area. So it took me a long time to figure out exactly what I wanted. And so when I found this planner, I was able to start going through and looking at the weekly home projects, understanding what I needed to work on in the different seasons. And that's kind of how I started to implement a home management system for this new home. So I would definitely start there. I think that these projects, some of them are a little bit bigger, but they're not all huge day-long projects. They're more, maybe an hour if you are doing like a full deep clean of your refrigerator, but it's not going to take an entire day. And so I really, really like starting with these home projects, these weekly home projects, if you are just starting out with a home management system. So what you will want to do is go through this list and see which of these projects are first applicable to your home and family. So you may not have a pantry, and if you don't, maybe there's another area of your house that is not listed on here that you want to focus on instead. Same thing with children's closets. Maybe you only have one closet that you need to look at, or maybe you don't have a garage, you just have a basement space. Maybe you don't have a pool, so you are looking at something different. So you want to go through these lists and figure out which of the projects are actually applicable to you. I think when you are trying to start a new home management routine, you want something that's fully laid out for you. And while that can be very helpful, it also helps you recognize where you already have habits in place for some of these things. Now, it is possible if you are, just moving into a new home and everything is brand new, following something like this would be very, very helpful. But in my opinion, it makes it so much more worthwhile if you go through and adjust it just a little bit to make it your own. So go through, take the time, especially now, there's several months before January even starts. You can start going through this planner now and figure out which of the things are applicable to your life right now, which of them are not applicable to your life and won't be next year, and kind of just cross things off and move things around as needed. Take the time to consider that at the beginning, and it will be very, very helpful. So that is actually what I would recommend, not just for the weekly home projects, but all of the lists in here. If there are extra things that you want to put on a company is coming checklist, put them on the list now, before you are having to deal with company coming. So that pre-planning time, taking the time to make some of the decisions ahead of time, it helps reduce the mental load, it helps reduce decision fatigue. So you are pre-making decisions before you need to implement the system itself. So I don't know if that is extremely well said or not, but take the time to just kind of go through. Now, there is something to be said for trying it out and just seeing how things go. And that's one of the reasons that when you get the physical planner, you get the last quarter of 2024. And when I first purchased this planner a few years ago, I got the last quarter of that current year that we were in. And I started to go through and see what are the things that I liked? What did I need to change? What did I need to implement from these lists into my home management strategy and routine? And just taking that time to get comfortable with it, very, very helpful. So what I did for the weekly home projects is I took the weekly home projects, I reorganized them into the ones that I definitely wanted to do, and then some extra things that I also wanted to do, and I put them in my Erin Condren Daily Duo. This is a daily A5 planner from Erin Condren. There are 6 little empty boxes at the beginning of the planner, and it fits really well here. And I liked having this space to list out all of these things. So you can either continue to use this checklist, and if you're going to change things around, you can just get, some whiteout and cross things off and then rewrite them in. Or if you use another planning system, transferring them into that planning system is also a good idea. And alternatively, if you do print these out to keep in a home management binder, or if you scale them down and you want to create your own little checklist planner or whatnot, you also have that option. Now, the next section that I really like in this planner is this monthly checklist section. This year I started to implement this monthly checklist as a checklist for the monthly cleaning tasks. Those things that I have to do monthly and I don't consider them all that often, things like cleaning the dishwasher, cleaning the washing machine, vacuuming behind the refrigerator, or vacuuming behind the dryer, or dusting the fans, or vacuuming the fans that are in the bathrooms or whatnot. So those types of things are things that I decided this year to schedule all on one day. I chose the first Friday of the month as a day that I would sit down and work on all of these tasks. All of the tasks that I have, the monthly cleaning tasks, are not super long. They don't take me a ton of time. Just dropping a tablet into the washing machine and starting the cleaning cycle. Same thing with the dishwasher and, dusting and things like that. It doesn't take all that long. So scheduling it for one day for me is something that actually works out really well. And it's not something that is 100% fully implemented. There are definitely things that I have added throughout the year and changed around, and things that I have moved into a more of a quarterly basis, which I also keep track of on this monthly checklist. And I think that that is very helpful to have. Just having the list, having a day set aside to do those things is helpful for me. Now, it may not be possible for you to set aside a specific day to do all of your monthly cleaning tasks. It just happens to work for me right now in my season of life, with my kids all homeschooling and having 2 high schoolers and an elementary age student. I'm able to dedicate that time once a month to work on these tasks. And again, like I said, it does not take me the entire day. It usually only takes me maybe 2 or 3 hours in the morning, depending on which of the things I'm doing that are also quarterly tasks. Around a quarterly refresh, it might take me a little bit longer to get through everything because I also focus on the quarterly tasks that day. But for the most part, it is very helpful to have this list to just move through it. Now, you don't have to do everything on one day like I do. You can, separate it and do a few things each week. You can schedule them out to do certain days for certain things, however you want to do it, but having the list of all of the things in one spot is very helpful. And so for the monthly checklist, I actually recreated this in my Erin Condren weekly life planner, and I put the tasks that I wanted to focus on and my quarterly tasks as well. And that is how I have utilized this section. Now, I have seen monthly checklists in the past, but it never dawned on me to make a monthly checklist for some of those cleaning tasks that I do monthly that I don't think about all that often. And so I might say, oh, I need to run a cleaning cycle on the dishwasher or the washing machine, or, oh, the fans look dusty. It was never something that I had a routine for. So this helped me figure out a routine because it prompted me to think about it. And I think that that's one of the benefits of having this planner, is to go through and see all of these ideas about home management and about finances all in one place. And then you're able to create your own system and implement something that works for you. Now, this bill payment schedule, I don't really use. I do all of my finances through Quicken. But one thing that I really love, we're getting a little bit ahead of ourselves here, is that Lori has a spot for you to write out how much you spend each day. And if finances are something that you are focusing on with your goals for next year or even currently, writing down how much you spend each day, I think, is such a valuable piece of information, because you can often see patterns of when you're spending more money, and then you can kind of consider why you may be spending more money on a certain day. I wouldn't necessarily count like bills and stuff here. I wouldn't put, oh, I paid my mortgage, because that would just skew it so much. But I would say any personal spending or incidental spending, or even groceries and gas, you may want to designate or separate out those types of transactions. But it gives you an idea of how much you're spending, you're spending in a week. Are there reasons that you're spending more at the beginning of the week or the end of the week or on the weekends? So understanding that information is very helpful. There are 2 sections that are new this year. The first is the emergency prep checklist. I think this is so helpful. And another book that is really helpful if you are into preparedness is Survival Mom, and it's all about planning for the unexpected. Last year, we had a huge rainstorm around Christmas, and we lost power for many days, and our entire downtown flooded, our grocery store flooded, and so we were not able to get groceries in town for, gosh, it didn't open again until the middle of April. So we had to come up with a completely new rhythm of going to a city 30 minutes away to get groceries, and it may not seem that different. You know, you may travel 30 minutes to get groceries, but it was very different for us to figure out how to manage that because it didn't really work the way that we used to have it work. Anyways, so that taught us that we need to shore up some of our emergency preparedness, making sure we have gas on hand for the generator and making sure everything is all set there, and like water because we're on a well. So if we lose power, we don't have water, so we have to store water. Just all of those different things that you may not necessarily think about in the day-to-day, but it's always good to have things on hand like batteries and flashlights and extra water and some food that you can cook and ways to cook food if you don't have power. So I really find a lot of value in this. I haven't gone through it as much, but it will give you a place to start, especially if you've not ever thought of those types of things. Maybe it's just never been on your radar, but it is definitely helpful to have. And then this next section is the looking forward section, and I really like how Lori addresses goals in here. So you have a my personal goals section. There are enough lines that you can separate out some sort of tracking for each week of the month if you want to do that, or you could write a couple of things that you want to do each month or bullet some different goal ideas. The same thing over here, there's 2 columns, books to read, podcasts to listen to. This is great if you are in like a reading slump or you need some encouragement. Again, it's making those decisions ahead of time and having some ideas already fleshed out so that when you are struggling, all you have to do is look in here and then you can see. And the same thing, if you want to take these pages from the digital printable planner and then print them out and put them in a binder, it gives you a reference library to look at and to work through if you are needing something else. It's also just, you know, if you have a bunch of book ideas that you've seen on Instagram or whatever, and you can write them down, it's always a lot of fun. And I absolutely love goals. If you know, if you've been here at all, you will know how much I love goals. I actually use the Power Sheets goal planner, but I like to flesh out my goals a little bit more. And so having extra sections like this is a lot of fun for me. And you also have these 2 blank pages, line pages to list out some home project ideas as well as financial goals. Definitely a helpful space. So once you are into the planner itself, again, I don't use this planner specifically for planning. I use it more as a reference. And so what you're going to want to do is come through here and look at these 2 habit lists. This is your morning habits and your evening habits. Do these habits line up with the things that you find value in and that you want to make sure you're implementing in your AM and PM routine? If yes, great. It gives you a list. It's fully ready for you to check off. But if it isn't, you can always make changes. You could, again, just take some white out and cross it off and write in your own habits. Or, you know, you could print out little stickers that have a different list. That might be a little bit easier. Or if you buy the digital planner, there's this printable version that you can go in and edit and put all of your tasks that you want to see for morning habits and evening habits. You can do that here. You can create your own weekly project. If you look at these projects and you think these are great, but I have different ideas, or maybe you want to add some different projects, you can do that. Same thing with your daily tasks and, you know, everything. You can just type everything in and then print it out, or type it in and read it off of the computer or iPad or whatever. So first you're going to go in and figure out the habits. Now for me, I do not use this section. I have my own morning routine and evening routine, and I just ignore this because I don't need this section personally. I have habit trackers in my planners as well as in my power sheets when I'm focusing on new habits, so I don't need this here. If you are just starting out creating a morning or evening routine, I think that trying to follow this for a little while is very helpful. And then when you try to follow a specific system, you'll recognize the areas that are not really applicable to your life, as well as maybe some places that you want to improve. Maybe you don't need to be reminded to shower, or you don't do laundry every day. We do not do laundry every day. There are weeks that I still have laundry every day, but I usually do like 3 loads a few times a week rather than 1 load every single day. If something like this works for you, great. If it doesn't, don't be afraid to change it. Remember, this is just a tool for you to use. You do not have to follow anything exactly. You may see this and it may be really, really good for you to start and see which things you do on which days and if there are some changes that you want to make. But having everything listed out, it prompts you to think about these things. Now, the tasks for each day, the weekly tasks, you may not do things on these particular days, but it is a reminder. You know, I never considered putting restock the toilet paper on my list. I just, whenever the toilet paper was out, I would put more toilet paper in. But that's something that my youngest can do. So that has gone on to her chore calendar as something that she does once a week. She will stack up new toilet paper upstairs in our upstairs bathroom, and that is great for her. And in fact, a lot of these weekly cleaning tasks I have transferred to my kids' chores, and I've just moved them around to the days that work best for us. But for instance, I don't typically grocery shop on Sunday or clean out my fridge on Tuesday. I usually clean out my fridge whenever I'm going grocery shopping. Oftentimes that ends up being Thursday or Friday because we get our farm delivery on Thursdays. So I know that I need to have my fridge cleaned out so that I can get all the vegetables from the CSA into the fridge. So that's when I would typically clean out our refrigerator. I usually do the sheets on the weekend, you know, and based on our homeschool week and how much we have going on in the week, when we have heavier homeschool days, I've lightened up the chore days. So we do a lot more chores on Thursday than we do on Monday. Monday is more of like a Monday reset for us and a deep dive into homeschool Monday and Tuesday. Wednesday is a little bit of a lighter day, that type of thing. Friday usually is more larger projects. But having all of this stuff listed out and having me try to do these tasks on these different days helped me figure out exactly what kind of a rhythm I wanted for my own home. And so I think that's kind of what I want you to take away from this video. Go through and try things the way that they're written, but don't be afraid to change things if you need to. Again, this is just a tool to help you create your own home management system. Because this is laid out so wonderfully, you may try it and you may fail, and you might think to yourself, oh, I just can't do a home management system. That is not true. What you need to do is take a look at why things didn't work. Is it because you didn't have enough time to do all of the things? Is it because you were trying to do certain tasks on different days than what you normally do? Just because it says to go grocery shopping on Sunday does not mean that you have to go grocery shopping on Sunday. You can go on Friday. You could go on Tuesday. It doesn't really matter. So you want to not completely throw out all of your habits that you already have that you may not recognize as habits. You kind of need to think about it. Again, that's why you want to go through everything ahead of time and cross things out and make it work for you. Cleaning out my purse, I don't do that weekly because I don't need to. I do it once a month. It's on my monthly tasks list. But when I saw it here, I was like, oh geez, maybe I should be cleaning out my purse once a week. I don't need to do that because I just don't. I don't have enough stuff in my bag to make it an issue. But things like cleaning off my desk every day, that I need to have on my list. So what you're going to want to do, again, is just to kind of go through everything ahead of time, figure out the things that you definitely do, the things that you maybe want to include, and the things that you definitely do not do or are not applicable to your home. Once you cross that out, it kind of gives you a little bit of momentum to start moving through and trying some new things. So that's where we're going to leave off today. I think next week I'm going to share more about how my own home management routine has evolved this year. This is something that I started working on in 2022, and each year I kind of add a few more things and change a few things around, and it has been really helpful for me this year to put a lot of the weekly cleaning tasks on my kids' chore lists, and then also creating that monthly cleaning tasks list so that I know exactly what I need to do each month to make sure my home is in order. So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you have questions about the home planner, please let me know in the comments, or you can email me. My contact form is always in the description box. And remember, if you are looking for something like this, but you don't need another physical planner, you can get the digital planner. You can read through things on your computer or on your iPad. If you do digital planning, you can use that through your own digital planning. Or if you keep a home binder or want to just print out the lists as you need them, this digital option is so helpful. When you buy the digital planner, you only get 2025. You don't also get the last quarter of 2024. So if you're looking for that, you're probably going to want to get the physical planner. They have several different cover choices. It is such a nicely made planner. And for me personally, even though I don't plan in here, being able to take this off of my shelf when I need it to refer to for specific lists is very helpful. Again, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, and I will see you in the next one. Thanks guys, bye.